Okay, just going to do a little video about the B2600 4x4 ute, 4-wheel drive, 93 model, and just some of the upgrades or modifications I've made to it. Just warming it up to go for a drive. So got a new battery in here, got a dual battery set up, so the dual battery system is in the back of the car, and these are just the power leads going to the back. They go underneath the cab and run along the chassis rail. Put a snorkel on here with a new airbox. Not the best upgrade, but I let old mate do whatever he wanted to do, and this is what he ended up with. Those pod filters, they're not the best in the world, but you can see the snorkel is picking up a bit of crap in there. Put some a whole new exhaust system on here. Got a high flow cat on there with a 2.25 inch exhaust the whole way through, with a fairly open muffler, extractors or headers, whatever you want to call them. And I got them ceramic coated as well, just to try and keep some heat out of the engine bay. Now, old mate, when he put this airbox in there, and he put the MAF or inlet sensor just where my hand is here, I've noticed that it's all the rubber's starting to fray, and there is a fair bit of heat coming off here. So I'm gonna have to put some sort of, I'll probably get a new plug made up, and I'll have to put a heat shield underneath that. So that's something to think about. That's the snorkel there. Not really completely happy with how this is done. He hasn't changed the angle here. That should straighten up, and that snorkel head should be on a more of an angle so it doesn't catch as much rain. But I will sort that, and I'm going to put one of those high tin sort of pre-cleaners on there instead of just that safari scoop head thing. I've also put new wheels on it. Had alloys on here with 32.5 inch wheels or tyres. So I'll put this, just the standard old steel Sunraysers on there, just because they're steel. They're pretty reliable, less chance of cracking compared to alloys. And instead of having the usual 285 by 75 or whatever they were on here, I've gone for a tall skinny tyre. So these ones are a 235 by 85R 16s. So I lose a little tiny bit of height, about 3/4 of an inch in height I lose, but it's a pretty skinny tyre, and I'm of the belief that it's probably a little bit more important to have skinnier tyres rather than big wide fat ones for pushing through sand, mud and things like that, and going over rocks. When you let the tyre pressure down, you get a longer footprint. I put new suspension on here, raised it up. It's got about a 3-inch lift in it now. There's new tyres and rims on here, new exhaust. Put roof racks and the hoop on here. Coming around here is I couldn't find for the life of me any really decent locker centers. So I was looking for air lockers, electric lockers, ARB, you know, whatever I could find, and I really couldn't find anything except for a locker brand, Lock-Right sort of lunchbox locker, I guess they call them, for the front. So I got one of those installed into the front. For the rear, all I could get was a factory limited slip, and I got it out of a later model. I think it was a 2002 or 2003 turbo diesel. So I had to buy the whole diff. So I bought the diff, pulled the center out, sent it away with my, took my car to a local diff shop, diff and gearbox shop, and they pulled my standard gears out of my diff. Fitted it to the limited slip center that I bought, installed it back into my diff, and while he was there, got him to shim it up so it was nice and tight. So it's got a factory shimmed up limited slip that's nice and tight in the rear, with the Lockrite mechanical locker in the front, and it works really well. Actually, I gave it a good test today, found a nice little vertical incline that was about 2 foot high, 600 high, and it definitely couldn't get it up 2-wheel drive. So locked in the hubs, put her in 4-wheel drive, and I even left the handbrake on by accident, and it just effortlessly crawled up that 2-foot incline. No dramas at all. Realized that the handbrake was on, took the handbrake off, reversed back, just hit it again, basically just idling in second gear, and it just like crawled up it. So made a huge difference. There's a bit of the ground clearance as well. So if you do have one of these B2600 Mazda Bravos, and I believe that's a Ford Courier as well in Australia, and you want to make it a little bit more capable, that's what all the advice for me was. And I also got 5 tyres, so I got a spare matching set. This is where my battery system is. You'll see it in another part of the video, but this is just a little toolbox that we put insulation in there. At the moment it's not lifted off the tray, and the lid interferes with just here and here, so I do need to move it across so the lid doesn't interfere anymore with hitting the hoop. So I can open it up all the way. Yeah, there's insulation on the lid on all sides. I will put some insulation on the floor, and I'm going to raise it off the ground, off the tray. This is my dual battery system. These are the iTech World brand 12 volt 50 amp hour slim batteries. I think they're the slim ones. I've got 4 of them. So they're lipo lithium batteries, as you might be able to see. That one over there where my thumb is, and this one down here close where my thumb is, they're both put upside down, so all the plugs are facing the same direction. I do have it, that's my solar input. I do have 2 iTech brand solar panels, and down underneath that wiring I've got 10 meters of extension cable there, so I can run it in to run accessories inside my tent or whatever. And underneath all that wiring over here, I got a down there, that's my red arc DC or DC-BC charger or whatever they're called. It's a 40 amp, and so I've got that running off my alternator. I think my alternator is only something like 65 or 70 amps, but just remember, it's got to run your car. It's got to run your car and all the accessories that are running off your car, headlights or, you know, whatever. So you're never ever going to get your 65, 70 amps coming through to here, but 40 is going to give me my best chance of charging these up. And yeah, I got the solar input there, so when I whack my 2 solar panels, I believe they're 2 200 watters I think I bought. Gonna raise it off the tray about 15 millimeters, just over half an inch, 3/8 of an inch or something like that, or 5/8. Yeah, 5/8 I think that is, roughly around 15 mil. Raise it off there, but I'll move the whole thing over about 3 inches into the center there. And the way this is hooked up with the Anderson plugs is I can actually unhook it from underneath the tray, unbolt the box, and I can lift the whole box out if I want to do that. And here's the little 12 volt control box, mini control box that I got. So it's got an Anderson plug that comes standard on it, and it's an Anderson plug going in. It's got the 2 Anderson plugs out. It's got 4 2.1 amp USB A's coming out. Then it's got a PD18W. That's, I think that's just a jargon name for a USB-C. And then this QC3 amp, don't know what that is. It's got 3 12 volt sockets and a voltage meter that doesn't work. And it also has an LED light built into it with 3 settings. So at the moment I got a 12 volt Ryobi charger, charging up one of my Ryobi batteries for my light. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Put a second-hand stereo in there. I got the head-up display sort of speedo on here with my little fridge. It's pretty, I think it's only like a 12 litre fridge or something like that, nice and small. And I just got this, I don't have any cup holders, this is 93 model, so there's no cup holders. So I just got this little Makita cup holder thing or a tool belt, and I just secured that on the front. It's a single man's ute. Do take the missus very occasionally, but this is what I use for my hunting and my camping. That's me little 4-wheel drive emergency setup. Always keep the silky saw in the car, and I've got enough sort of shit to keep myself out of trouble. Anyway guys, I haven't posted a video in a long time, just thought I'd do something. I must have a bit of stage fright or something like that. Been a bit lazy. Been doing other shit though. So anyway, see you guys.